Hey guys, so I'm just going to really quickly show you how to use your WSL or your Windows subsystem for Linux. And that becomes important because sometimes we have different things we're trying to install that we can only install in Linux. Can you believe they would do that to us? Why would they do that to us? Okay, no, seriously, a lot of these big, real serious programmers, they like their Linux stuff. Sit there with their vapes and their IPAs and sit there and work on their Linux machines with their water cooler bubblers and all that kind of stuff. And we're just the poor little fellers over here on Windows 10, and sometimes we are 11, and whatnot in our Windows environments, and sometimes we need access to what the cool kids are playing with. But I'm going to tell you, we don't really want to install Linux. It's too much, okay, for what we want to be doing, and you're going to end up spending all your time just doing stuff that you take for granted over here. But I want to just really quickly show you how we can install stuff into the Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, so let's click on over here, and let's close that out. So typically what we're going to do is we're going to click here on our Windows key here, and what we want to type is Windows Features, okay? And it's going to bring up this thing, turn Windows features on or off. So we're going to click that bad boy, comes over here, and then we scroll down, and you want to find this, Windows Subsystem for Linux. If it is unchecked, you need to check it, okay, because we have to install it. So what will happen is you'll click it, it will install, and it will ask you to reboot your machine, okay? Same thing, if you unclick it, it'll undo it and ask you to restart your machine. Most of our Windows builds are going to come with, our Windows installations are going to come with that already installed, but I will tell you that WSL it can be wonky. It's you start out with a brand new frog. I got my brand new computer, and here we are, and oh, there's the WSL, and then something goes wrong, and you have to uninstall it and then reinstall it, and you're like, wait, it's not working the way that it was, and now what? And you're sitting there and you're going back and forth with that stupid little thing there trying to uninstall it and reinstall it, and it's not working. So it can be temperamental, okay? So what we want to do, okay, is, well, typically, here's the thing. Let's just say you start it, unless it's already installed, you just type in WSL, okay, and it should bring up one that looks like this little penguin here. And you just click that, and it should work. It brings you up into a Linux environment. All right? And, you're on your own at the minute for how to use all this kind of stuff. Because that's not the point. The point of what we want right now is just getting it going. But it'll work up. Other times, you're going to come in there, you're going to click on that little penguin, or you're going to click on something like this, and you're going to find that it doesn't do anything. The screen pops up, pops down. Very common. You're like, why won't it start? I click the Windows subsystem for Linux, and then it pops up, it pops down. It goes too fast. I can't read it. What's happening? So we go back here and we uninstall it, and then we restart our machines, and then we re-click it and reinstall it, and then we restart our machines, and it's still not working. Okay, very common. The reason that's happening is because you have to have what's called a distribution installed. So in other words, imagine you have a remote control, but the remote control has no batteries in it. So you're sitting there hitting buttons and nothing's happening. It has nothing powering it, okay? Or you have a computer, and the computer doesn't have an operating system. That's probably the better analogy. So you have a computer, it doesn't have the operating system. So I turn my computer on, and it doesn't do anything. Right, because you didn't install Windows on it. You didn't install Linux on it. So we get this WSL, it's like a shell, it's like a computer box, okay, with the hardware and all that we need, but you have to install the operating system. That's what we call a distribution, okay? When you first start with Windows, it gives you a distribution. When mistakes happen, you have to undo it. It doesn't always bring back your distribution, and that's why your system's popping up and popping down. So I'm going to show you how to fix that right now. So what we're going to do is go back to here. Okay, let's keep this up here for later because I'm going to use that later to make a point. But what we want to do is click your Windows key over here and type in the word PowerShell, or start to type it. It's going to bring up this. Now, Windows PowerShell is basically like your command line terminal. We've got our terminal down here, okay? So we can do stuff. It's like that, but on steroids. You can do a lot more with it. You can actually program your Windows environment with it. You can do incredible stuff through it. So what we want it for, though, is to control our Windows subsystem for Linux. So let's type this in. We don't want to just click on it, though. We want to right-click on that bad boy and go Run as Administrator. Okay, so that brings this up. Okay, and now we have elevated status. We can look and do a lot of different stuff here. So I'm going to show you some commands here. Write these commands down. I'll also put them in the list. But these are the main things that we're going to work on. We only have like 3 or 4 things that we're really going to work with. First of all, just WSL. That's literally how we're going to run the app, just by typing WSL. But we need to give it some parameters so it knows what to do. So let's say we can't figure out why this is popping up, popping down, it's not opening. We type WSL and we're going to put dash dash. Okay, that means we're passing it parameters. And we're going to type the word list. Now you're going to bring up, it's going to show you everything that's installed. So I have 3 distributions installed. So it's like I have 3 operating systems. Now I want to clarify with you, this isn't full operating systems, but it's the kernels. So we can do Linux commands on it. But it's not like having Linux installed. It's like having a mirror image of a mirror image of something real, on there. So we have the very basics, so we can run Linux commands and the file structures and all that. But it's, it'd be like being on a Macintosh, let's say, and you have a Windows virtual environment. This is similar. Now the cool thing is we can put multiple ones on here, and if you're into developing, there will be different reasons why you want different distributions from me. I just want different ones because I want to install something onto here, but then I want to check to see if it's going to work on here as well. I want to try multiple things, because let's say I'm developing a software and I want to see how it installs here, but I also want to install it at the same time over here. So I'm going to run multiple distributions. But now, getting back to what we were talking about. We type that WSL -- list. Now, probably what's going to happen is you're going to come up and it's going to say there's nothing there. That's your problem. There's no distribution installed. Okay, so not a big deal. We're going to go again, type WSL -- list, but now we're going to add another parameter, -- online. Okay? And it's going to bring up this. These are all the same things, okay? This is like your name and your friendly names. This is like saying something, it's like, my name's Jonathan, but my friends, call me John or whatever. So it's the same thing. What we want is the classic name because we're going to be installing these. So what we would do is we would find a distribution. You're going to want one of these ones, okay? And you're just going to grab one. Now, what did I already have installed? I already have 24.18.22.04. So let's grab this 20 here. So I want to install so what you would do is just choose one of these, and I'm going to tell you, you probably want one of these two. My experience has been that when you're installing your NVIDIA graphics cards, you're installing, your CUDA toolkits, this kind of stuff, they always ask for 22 or 20. Now, I'm not certain why that is. I'm not certain why that is, but I'm going to assume that that's because those are probably the most stable or just the most well known. But let's go ahead and grab this one here. Okay, and what we're going to do, easy peasy. This is so easy. We're going to be done in like 5 minutes. We're going to type WSL -- install. All right, and then we're going to paste that in there. Easy. Okay, this was from our PowerShell. We opened up PowerShell over here. We right-clicked on it when it run as administrator. Now check it out. It's going to install it. Okay, so this only does this the first time. Now what it's going to do is it's going to ask you for a username. This is like when we're using Windows and it asks us for a username. And so, we could go here under users, and we got it, Cogni build. So that would be the same thing. You're putting in the name of your base directory. So let's type it in here. Let's just type Cogni. Okay. Now it's going to ask for a password. This is very important because it's going to ask for it twice. When you're installing different stuff, it wants to know that you have the permission to do that. That's how they keep hackers from getting in and just installing stuff on there. So it asks you your password. So there you are. You are now in your Windows subsystem for Linux. Good job. Okay? I'm going to let you, we can have other videos where we talk about what to do once in here, but you've got this running now. Now if you go back and you click on your Penguin guy over here, type WSL, you're going to find that it loads. Okay, so let's close this out. Now we've got that installed. Let's say we've made a mistake. Okay, let's open our Windows PowerShell. We've made a mistake and we need to get rid of that distribution, or we want to start over for some reason. Not a big deal. All we got to do, type WSL, unregister, and then put in the name of the thing again. Now, if you've forgotten what it's called, it's easy. Just go WSL list -online, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, there are the names. Let's go WSL -list. Oh, there's the ones that installed. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of. Let's get rid of a few of these. I don't need all these. So all I'm gonna do, WSL -- unregister, and look at that, it's done. Unregistering this. Now if I type WSL -- list, you'll notice it's gone. I can do it again. WSL unregister. Let's get rid of Ubuntu -18.04. Okay, so I typed it wrong. See, it said distro not found. That's because I put Ubuntu. Sounds a little bit cuter, I suppose. Oh, you little Ubuntu. But there we go. Now it works. Same thing. WSL -- list, and now she's gone. If I want to reinstall them, WSL -- install. Same thing. I can just put it back in there. Ubuntu -18.04, and then it'll go ahead, and if you don't already have it downloaded, it'll download it, it'll install it, and then it'll open it up for you. Okay? Same thing. So type this in here, give it a password, and now the key thing here is that when you deregister, you're getting rid of everything. So if you spent time installing, again, your CUDA toolkit, it's not as easy installing stuff into this as it is with Windows, okay? And a lot of stuff you have to do manually. You spend a lot of time online finding the right commands to put in there, talking to ChatGPT. So when you deregister it, you're wiping all that out and you're starting fresh, which is good because, listen, you can get errors with WSL that are a pain in the ass. Like, you will sit there for a long time trying to figure out why. It's like, just wipe it out and start again. Oh, let me show you one other thing here really quick. Easy way to access your subsystems is open up your File Explorer and then just come down to the bottom. You'll see Linux, and then you can actually access your different distributions. And you're going to be in the home drive, and this is probably where you're going to have, if you've installed something in here, this is where your stuff will be. But a lot of times, if you're using your PowerShell correctly, you can just go to the actual directory you want to be in and install something there. And then that way, even if you get rid of the distribution, your files are still there in your Windows thing. So, all right. Hopefully that was not too confusing, probably clear as mud. Just know that you got your WSL should come installed with Windows. Okay. If it's not, go to your Windows features and turn it on. Okay. If once it's turned on, it's not loading, it's because you don't have a distribution. Okay. Go into your PowerShell, right-click on it, run as an administrator, WSL -- list -- online. It's going to give you a list of ones to choose from. Pick one, then go WSL -- install, and the name of the thing, and then you're gold. Okay, you need to get rid of it. WSL -- unregister, and then the name of the thing. You know those three commands. You're gold. This stuff really, it gets us because we want to naturally think it's a lot more difficult than it is, but it's not that difficult. Okay, especially once you get knowing it a little bit, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty basic. And the thing, I guess, like working on a car, you know, some mechanics. I work on a car; it's gonna take me all day to do a 30-minute job. You know, mechanic get in and knows what he's doing. It's like, that's easy. That's he's done in 10 minutes. So that's stuff like this. It just you think it's harder than it is, and it's so easy. So, all right, if you have any questions, hit me up on Discord. And as usual, you guys stay good, and we will catch you later.